The Mel Carmine Show begins in just 1 minute. Support the movement. Visit QFS1776.com for exclusive one-of-a-kind merch that makes a powerful statement. Protect your wealth. Cash is trash. Go to carminesgold.com and secure real assets, silver, gold, delivered anywhere in the U.S. Text Mel at 786-704-8817. Looking to acquire XRP? Minimum is $10,000 investment, and there is no limit, even up to $100 million worth. Again, text Mel with full details at 786-704-8817 and allow up to 24 hours for a response. And if by chance you're visiting Cape Canaveral or you are a local, visit stayingalive.com, alive with 2 E's, and recharge your body at the cellular level. The show with your host, Mel Carmine, starts right now.
Let's cut the shit. This story doesn't start with a lawsuit. It starts with fear, real fear. The kind of fear you don't see on Twitter or TV, but you feel in boardrooms, back channels, and closed-door meetings where the real decisions get made. Because when Ripple and XRP showed up, the people who actually run the money realized something terrifying. They were about to lose control of the rails. I was born in Sicily, raised mostly in New Jersey, but my stomping grounds, Brooklyn, Manhattan, the Bronx. I didn't grow up polished. I grew up watching how power actually moves. And here's the first truth. Banks don't hate innovation. They hate innovation they don't own. For decades, global finance ran on delay, friction, and confusion on purpose. Money slow enough to skim, complex enough to justify fees, opaque enough that no one questions the fucking robbery. Then blockchain comes along. And before anyone jumps up screaming Bitcoin, let's be honest. Bitcoin was attempt number 1, and it failed at its original job. Transactions? Too slow. Energy use? A joke. 7 transactions per second isn't a revolution, it's a bottleneck. Bitcoin became digital gold because it couldn't be digital money. So what do smart people do when version 1 fails? They build version 2 quietly. Here's where people get uncomfortable. XRP was never built for retail opium addicts. It wasn't designed so you could feel smart on Telegram. It was built for liquidity at planetary scale. Instant settlement, near zero cost, thousands, then tens of thousands of transactions per second. Expandable, replaceable, upgradable. This wasn't crypto rebellion. This was financial infrastructure. And that's exactly why the knives came out. Because XRP didn't threaten banks' profits, it threatened their existence as middlemen. December 2020, Ripple is expanding globally. Foreign institutions are testing, integrating, moving forward. Then bam, the SEC sues. Executives named, maximum damage, maximum fear. You want me to believe that was coincidence? Bullshit. That lawsuit wasn't about investor protection. It was about stalling time, about freezing progress while legacy institutions scrambled to catch up, copy, or kill what they couldn't control. And yet people whisper names. Jamie Dimon, big banks, political influence. Is there a signed confession? No, that's not how real power works. Real power doesn't leave receipts. It leaves patterns, and the pattern was clear. Delay XRP, smear it, buy time. Because if XRP went live at scale, correspondent banking dies. And trillions trapped in Nostro accounts suddenly become obsolete. Let me say this slowly for the people in the back. Governments don't run the financial system. They protect whoever does. Politicians lined up against Ripple not because XRP was dangerous, but because it was too effective. When the system realizes the jig is up, it doesn't adapt gracefully. It lashes out. Regulation becomes a weapon. Confusion becomes a tool. Delay becomes strategy. And the public? Distracted with noise. Now here's the part people argue about because it scares them. Price. You hear XRP can't be worth that much. According to who? People who've never settled international liquidity in their lives. If XRP becomes a global bridge asset, if it replaces trillions in locked capital, if it settles FX, derivatives, trade finance, sovereign flows, then the price must be high. Not for greed, for function. Banks don't want cheap tokens. They want fewer units moving more value. High price equals efficiency. High price equals control. High price equals stability at scale. When the reset happens, and don't kid yourself, it's coming. XRP doesn't hit 5 figures because retail demands it. It hits 5, 6, even 7 figures because the institutions require it. That's math, not fantasy. This is where I stop pretending. My name is Mel Carmine. I'm not an influencer. I'm not selling dreams. I'm a sub-broker connected to broker agencies around the world who deal with the super uber wealthy. Real money, quiet money, minimums that start where most people tap out. Yes, you can get $10,000 worth of XRP. That's the bare fucking minimum. There is no maximum. 100 million, 50 million, doesn't matter. And yeah, I'll say it plainly, I can source more XRP than Brad Garlinghouse. Call it insane, call it ego, call it Brooklyn confidence. But if you understand how this world actually works, you'll understand why that statement doesn't bother me at all. You want proof? Start with 1 million, stick your toe in. Then you'll understand why certain people never worry about supply. Because connections move markets, not tweets. So here's the line in the sand. When this breaks, when clarity hits, when institutions flip the switch, you won't get a second chance to pretend you didn't hear this. You'll either remember the moment you listened or the moment you dismissed it. Share this if it pissed you off. Subscribe if it scared you. Because once you understand why they panicked, you'll never look at XRP the same way again.